You know that moment when you need to start something, but your brain decides that suddenly everything else in life is more important? You open your laptop to start working, and 2 seconds later you're adjusting your desk lamp, or just staring at nothing for 10 straight minutes. And you tell yourself the classic lie, I'll start in 5 minutes. But 5 minutes becomes 10, 10 becomes 30, and before you know it, the day is gone, and the guilt starts creeping in. Yeah, that loop, the procrastination loop. Most of us live inside it more often than we like to admit. And the worst part? It feels like you're trying to escape quicksand. The harder you try, the deeper you sink. In this video, I'll show you one simple, research-backed rule from Harvard that will help you break that loop and actually start the things that matter. And don't worry, we're not talking about discipline speeches, motivational cliches, or just do it energy. This method is practical, it's gentle, and it works even if you're the kind of person who has procrastinated for years. I say this because, yeah, that used to be me too. By the end, you'll know exactly how to apply this rule, plus a few supporting techniques, so you can finally take control of your day instead of your day controlling you. All right, let's start with the rule itself, because it's surprisingly simple. Here's the heart of it. Researchers studying behavior change at Harvard found that if you can force the brain to begin a task for just 60 seconds, you can usually keep going without resistance. It's called activation energy, the energy needed to start something. And our brains are naturally lazy. They hate the starting phase because it feels heavy, unclear, or overwhelming. So the Harvard idea is this: commit to only 1 minute of the task, not 30 minutes, not a full session, just 1 minute. Why does this work? Because once you cross that first tiny barrier, your brain realizes, oh, this isn't painful, and it stops fighting you. Most of the suffering is in the anticipation, not the action. I used to use this rule for writing. I would tell myself, okay, just open the document and write literally one sentence. 9 times out of 10, that sentence turned into a paragraph, and then a page. A student I tutored was terrified of studying biology. She'd avoid it for days. So we tried the 1-minute rule. She opened her book, read 1 paragraph, and closed it. But the next day, she naturally read 2 pages, then 5. Why? Because she stopped fearing the whole study session. She only faced 1 minute. What you do? Set a timer for 60 seconds. Begin the task in the smallest way possible. When the minute is over, you can stop. But most days, you won't want to. Simple, but incredibly effective. 2. Break the task into visible first steps. If the 1-minute rule is the ignition, this step is the steering wheel. A major reason we procrastinate is because tasks look vague and heavy. Study for exam. Finish assignment. Clean the kitchen. These aren't tasks. They're projects. Your brain doesn't know where to begin, so it freezes. Instead, you need what psychologists call visible first steps, actions you can see yourself doing without thinking. For example, open the textbook. Write the title of the essay. Put the dishes in the sink. That's it. Start with something so small that doing it feels almost silly. Your brain loves clarity. It hates fog. When the first step is visible, you stop negotiating with yourself because the effort required feels tiny. A friend of mine wanted to get into journaling, but every night he avoided it because journal sounded like a whole emotional event. So he changed the first step to sit down and open the notebook. That's it. Once the notebook was open, writing became the natural next move. One visible step leads to another. 3. Create a no-thinking environment. Sometimes procrastination isn't about the task. It's about the environment around the task. If your workspace is full of decisions, deciding where to sit, deciding what to use, deciding what to do first, your brain burns energy before the work even begins. So give yourself a no-thinking environment. This means your tools are already in place. Your workspace is predictable. You know exactly what to do when you sit down. Professional athletes use this. Musicians use this. Writers use this. Why shouldn't you? When I started removing friction from my workflow, having one folder for scripts, one page for ideas, and one place I always sit, my procrastination dropped almost instantly. Less thinking equals more doing. Think of brushing your teeth. You don't procrastinate brushing your teeth because the environment is ready. The sink, the brush, the paste. You don't need motivation to do it. Make your work feel the same. 4. The if-then anti-delay strategy. This one is behavioral science gold. You create small rules that remove negotiation from your brain. It works like this. If X happens, then I do Y. For example, if it's 8 p.m., then I study for 1 minute. If I sit at my desk, then I open the task list. If I finish lunch, then I wash one plate. These micro rules stop your brain from creating excuses. Because now, it's not a debate. It's a trigger action. Harvard behavioral researchers found that if-then strategies increase follow-through significantly because they automate the start of a task. You're basically outsourcing your self-control. I have an if-then rule for writing. If I finish my morning coffee, then I open my writing app. Not start writing, just open it. And most mornings, just seeing the open page nudges me into writing a few lines. 5. Reward the start, not the finish. This one changes everything. Most of us reward ourselves only when we finish something big. But finishing big tasks is rare, so your brain never feels the satisfaction. Instead, give yourself micro rewards for starting. This trains your brain to associate the beginning of a task with positive emotion. Some examples. Listen to your favorite 20-second song clip when you start. Take a deep, satisfying breath. Say, "Nice job. You showed up." Drink a sip of your favorite tea. Tiny rewards, huge effect. You're rewiring the loop. Instead of this, task stress avoidance. You build this. Task start reward momentum. And the rest of the script continues exactly as written. Let me know if you want it split further into additional image prompts.